everyone, welcome to another video. Okay, so this is just basically a video giving you guys kind of an update on where I am with therapy right now. If you've been watching my videos for a long time, you'll know that I first started making videos about my bipolar disorder and social anxiety, like talking about those types of things and my treatment and my experiences and stuff like that. And I have like a whole playlist of my therapy updates. There aren't that many, but every once in a while when I had a really good therapy session, I would make a video about it. But you may have noticed that I haven't made one in a while because I haven't been to therapy in a really long time because I am finished with therapy. So yeah, so in this title I'm not like finished with therapy, like, oh, I'm done with therapy, you know, because of some bad experience or something. No, I'm finished with therapy because it actually worked for me, and I'm at the point where right now I don't need it. So for the foreseeable future, I don't need it because my last therapist really actually told me what I needed to know to get better as far as my social anxiety goes. It's been a long journey through therapy. I first started therapy when I was 22 at the request of my boyfriend because I had just gotten out of an abusive relationship and I had a lot of like baggage from that, and he told me that I should talk to someone about it, you know, other than him and stuff. So I went to therapy for that. Then I went to therapy, you know, I kept going for like depression and stuff, and then I stopped going, and then a little bit later I had like a nervous breakdown, manic episode type of thing, psychotic break, and then I started going again, and then my therapy sessions were mostly about bipolar disorder. But then I got that all sorted out with, you know, just learning that I needed to take the medication and stuff like that to, you know, live a normal life and all this stuff, and that was really helpful. And then more recently, I started going to the therapist at the school, the counseling center at the university I was going to, and I like had one therapist, but then she retired, so then I like went to another one, or yeah, I went to a male therapist, and then I was like, I wasn't sure about him, so I went to a woman therapist, and then I wasn't sure about her, so I went back to the guy therapist. And yeah, so at first I didn't like him because he did most of the talking, and I was used to having therapy sessions where I was just talking about my problems and stuff like that. So it was really different to have a therapist who actually talked most of the time. And I really think that if therapy hasn't worked for you, like the kind of therapy where you just talk out your problems and you're like blah 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 and the therapist just listens basically, then I suggest trying to find a therapist who talks to you a lot, because like my therapist, it was almost as like, you know, he had seen so many, you know, students or whatever, you know, with my problems, so many people with my problems, that he knew what to say. Like, you know, he had experience with that sort of thing, so he knew like what to tell me, and he knew what I was going through, and he knew like the solutions to my problems. Like looking back, I hated, and I mean I hated at the time, I hate the therapists who, you know, in order to get you to talk, they just stare at you. Like, just, if you have that kind of therapist and that has made you not like therapy, get another therapist that doesn't do that, because that's like some technique that they learned to try and get you to talk about things. They'll just like, you know, you'll go in the room and they'll just like stare at you, you know, until you start talking, like they won't say anything. But my therapist, he would actually, you know, right from the get-go, you know, he'd say, you know, how have things been going, and I would tell him, and then basically he would just talk a lot, you know, and you know, every once in a while, you know, he would ask me a question or I would say something, and then whatever. It was more of a conversation, like with a person, which in my normal conversations, the other person does most of the talking because I'm not really that talkative most of the time. So for this therapist, he was more like, you know, just talking to a normal guy or man who had like sage words of wisdom, because he had dealt with these problems, he had seen people change and what helped them and all this stuff, that, you know, I would just talk to him and he would give me like sage words of wisdom. So it was more like having, you know, like a father figure who actually knows what to tell you psychologically to make things better. So he really helped me. You know, I wish I could keep going to him, but he is, you know, when I need to go. But he's in another city, and he works at the school counseling center, so I couldn't go to him unless I was a student. But yeah, I just hope that whenever I need therapy again, you know, in the future, that I can find another good therapist. So if therapy hasn't helped you in the past or has made things worse or blah blah blah, then you just haven't found the right person for you. You know, therapists are just normal people too. They're just people who, you know, study psychology and then got a job at a counseling center or whatever. So, you know, just find the person who is actually helping you. Like, I didn't necessarily, like, you know, think my therapist was like the best person ever, like, oh, I think he's awesome or whatever, because he had been divorced like twice or something. I don't even know. I mean, he was probably a great guy, but I'm just saying, like, even if you don't like get along with them, like, you know, as a person, if they're actually telling you things that are helping you, then you should get over like your personal, you know, bias towards them as a person and be like, okay, I'm gonna go to this person each week because, you know, what they're saying actually is helping me. So yeah, I'm a big proponent of therapy because, you know, even when it wasn't like totally curing my problems, it was better than nothing. Like, at least I did have someone to talk to, you know. So even if, you know, even if you're like questioning, like, is my therapist that good, or if it's like the only therapist you can get or whatever, it's really better than nothing, in my personal opinion, from my experience. You know, I don't understand the people who say that it makes it worse. I don't know if they're just like really impressionable or something, but, you know, take control of your treatment. If you're uncomfortable with a therapist, go to another one. If you do have some sort of psychological thing that you're dealing with, if you're struggling in your life mentally and emotionally, then it's just a phone call away to your local counseling center, and a lot of times you can get it for, you know, affordably, so that sort of thing. So that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm finished with therapy for now, and it has helped me a lot. And some people are commenting on my videos like how can you say you have bipolar disorder when you don't? And in my opinion, you don't have social anxiety. Well, it's like, I've been in treatment for many years. I've been in therapy for many years. So if anything, it should be like an example to show you that you can recover from these problems and you don't have to like wallow in them your entire life or whatever. I mean, yeah. So recovery is possible, and yeah. So, I mean, if you want to be the type of person who just wallows in your problems for the rest of your life, more power to you, I guess. But, you know, or you can be proactive and actually get treatment and have faith in treatment and realize that it's not going to be an overnight fix. Like, you can't go to one therapy session and be like, that didn't work for me. It takes many therapy sessions for you to start, you know, chipping away at your issues, and it might be trial and error to get your medication to where, you know, it helps. You know, sometimes you might only need to take it temporarily. Like, you might only need to take, you know, like for me, I only had to take an antipsychotic for like 6 months or 6 months to a year, I don't remember. But yeah, and now I don't have to take them anymore. So yeah, so have faith in treatment, and people who are like totally against treatment and recovery and stuff like that, it's just really silly to me. It's just like any other type of medical issue. You need to treat it. You can't just, you know, if you have like a gangrene or something, you're not just going to be like, oh, doctors won't help and all this stuff. Anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys have a really awesome day, and I'm sure I'm going to get some, you know, a lot of comments on this being, you know, treatment for mental illness, but whatever. Anyways, I hope you guys have a really good day. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't. And if you are in therapy right now, or you're interested in it, go back and watch my playlist. I'll put the link below of my therapy updates. It might be kind of helpful or interesting or something. And yeah, if you have any other questions related to therapy, I'd be happy to answer them. Alright, so I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!